Can you tell me what we know so far about how the brain is connected to the arts, and particularly with music, and what are we doing here to further that understanding of the connection?
You probably noticed that as you come through the lobby, if you go to the right, you go towards a laboratory of electroencephalography and towards a state-of-the-art 3D MR scanner. So if you go to the left, precisely in front of that same area, you go into this state-of-the-art auditorium, which is a small auditorium, but is state-of-the-art in many respects, in all the technical characteristics, and most importantly in the acoustics, which are superb. And what we wanted when we did this, when we created this structure, is literally force people to say, what an odd combination. And the why is that on the one hand you have the most modern way of inquiring into the brain-making mind, and on the other you have the oldest, because when people were starting to do readings of poetry, or recitations of poetry better, or theater or music, say in an arena in Greece, they were in fact inquiring about the human mind in very probing ways. You know, that's the great culture that in its mixture of philosophy and theater and music gave us one of the most remarkable first approaches into the human mind. So we wanted to have these two things together and to force people to see that they're not that different. That's the first thing. That the mission that we now have is not that different from the mission that someone like Sophocles or Aristotle would have had. Another very important point is that you need to bridge the two and keep respecting the achievements of the past. So the idea that by just doing neuroscience or advanced cognitive science, you can understand everything about the brain and especially about the human mind is, of course, not only extreme, it's ridiculous, because that's not the case. We need to literally drag all the past of arts and the humanities into the mix, and also use the current contributions of artists and philosophers, for example, to understand this very complicated thing that is the human mind.
You have an average of a 50 or 60, you know, they're only at 50 or 60% of what's needed